out looking out the ground. We weren't looking for a home, we were happy where we at. Walked over.
I had like,
You, Tom,
oh, really?
we started talking, so come in, look, we're selling the house. We did, my wife liked it, we had plenty, gave us plenty of bedrooms. Next thing I know, we signed an agreement. I said, well, I'm not gonna market to them. Well, we'll do an exchange.
Oh, yeah.
And you just pay the difference.
1031.
And it was a good price. But the funniest thing about the whole transaction was Tom had listed this with the realtor. And I don't know why or how he figured did this, whether it was line intervention or whatever. He had put my name on the listing agreement as an exception to having to pay fees. And I had never talked to him.
Oh, so you didn't have to pay fees at 6%.
There was no,
Awesome. Well, he liked you.
well, how would he even know that I was going to do
Oh,
that?
I
Because
see
I
what
never
you're saying.
even talked to him about the house. Didn't know it was even for sale. It was just a fluke.
Some spiritual intervention there.
It does, it really does.
We got our mics on.
Oh,
All right.
You're recording conversations, you're not allowed to do this.
The meeting started at
Meeting
9.
started. All right, we'll go ahead and start this meeting. Mics are on. We'll start by going around the table with introductions.
Matt Plante, Regional Design Leader for Iowa Power.
Bryce Bonnet, City of Blackwood, Sewer and Storm.
Chase, Chase Clark, Building and Fire.
Princeton Lead Water Superintendent.
Oh, Mrs. Tyler, planning and zoning admin assistant and building permit tech.
Wayne Gardner, Facilities Manager. Travis Allen, Planning and Zoning Administrator. We have Mayor Stufflebeam with us today as well. And
And Graham.
Not Graham, City Administrator.
So would you like to give us a concept more than what you had on your application, or?
my wife just told me this morning that she'd sent this submission and I hadn't even read it.
Okay.
But it's right, it's correct. We're wanting to put 4 homes in over there, and I've been in discussion with Chris over at, for over at,
Beach Hill.
yeah, HLE, I always want to call them the long name. And I'm just wondering if this is correct, but yeah, we're trying to do something over there with that property. We've owned it for probably close to 4 years. And it's just sitting and we want to put 4 lots in there. And that's what Chris over HLE has said that we can do. I don't understand the configuration. Does everybody have a copy of the configuration?
Yeah,
Okay.
got copies or had emails.
What I would really like to do, if possible, is I'd like to take that front lot that's up closest to Center Street and turn it so it faces Center Street and then put 3 behind it.
All right.
Now, there's some issues, according to Chris, that I can't, according to rules and regulations, that you have to have so much frontage or so much depth or so many square feet per lot. But that would make it more visible to people to want to buy, in my opinion. If there was a house facing that looked really nice and then put 3 behind it, it would change the configuration a little bit. But that's what I'd like to do.
All right.
I have a lot of questions, so I don't know how you.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. We'll just start around the table, starting with Idaho Power, and if any issues or concerns or any questions.
Yeah, no, we have our infrastructure's out front along the road, Center Street. So we can feed you from along there. You'll just need to call in to generate a service request through our 800 number. And then that'll get you to our local office down in Pocatello. We'll have a designer meet with you and work through the project. Do you know if you're gonna do joint trench? Is that a,
I don't know anything about joint trenches.
okay, joint trench is when there's gas in it.
I didn't know you could do that. I was
If
a
it's-
contractor years ago. We
Yeah.
couldn't do that before,
So
so.
if you decide to go that route, Idaho Power manages that process. We have some requirements and we can get you that when you're ready to move forward. Or if you're just going electric only, then you would be able to do the trenching. And joint trenching, we have to do all the trenching and the conduit installation.
So what's the cost difference basis if you don't do joint trenching?
Well, you'd have to work with the gas company on getting it in if you want gas in there. Or if you do just electric, then it's obviously gonna be a lot cheaper, because you could do the trenching, and then Idaho Power will put in the conduits, the cable.
But gas won't?
No.
The gas person?
It's not here today.
Yeah, it's Austin Stewart is the guy
Oh, okay.
that is usually here. And then
So what's your recommendation? Would it be,
it just depends if you want gas for
Well, I
heating and
would.
cooking. Yeah, so, but where it's just such a small, we're not going very far. It may not need to be joint trench, maybe gas to run services only. It really depends on what they want to do as well. So,
I will make sure you have Austin's contact information.
okay. Okay, thank you.
but, and if you want to go overhead or underground, those are options that could be possible as well. I don't know exactly where the infrastructure is and where homes are going to be and everything, but
It's all about money.
Yeah.
As we all know. So what would you recommend?
until we were able to do a site visit and just validate what it is, where the buildings are going to go and what your final plans are, and we just wait until we have more information to give you.
So is it cost anything to have you come out and do a site visit?
No,
Okay.
you can call in that service request.
Okay,
We'll get a designer out to meet with you. Right now, it's Alicia Murphy. She's my designer for the area.
Alicia Murphy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I'll give her a heads up on this, that you'll be calling and
Okay.
looking for options, which you might want to do moving forward.
Okay, very
You
good.
definitely do that. If you want a formal quote, that does cost money at that point. But just to come out and have a conversation, maybe throw some rough numbers around, that's no charge.
Okay, thanks, Matt.
On the sewer, the main line is approximately 8.5 feet deep. It does run in the center. The main line is a 15-inch diameter. I don't have a record of what the material for the pipe is, but it's most likely concrete. Sewer requirements, each house must have its own sewer service. If there's going to be below-grade fixtures in the house, there must be a backwater device installed to prevent sewage from entering the residence. The sewer main must be in city-owned right-of-way, otherwise it becomes a private line and must be maintained by an HOA.
That was a question in my mind. Can you expound on that?
That means the road has to meet city standards.
In order for the homeowners to maintain it or for?
For the city to maintain it. If the homeowners association maintains it,
You don't care?
as long as its separation from the water line is maintained
10 feet?
10 feet. The sewer main could be no smaller than an 8-inch diameter pipe. The sewer main must have a manhole at each end of the pipe. No services above the manhole without a manhole above that.
So we have to have one at the end of that street, and when we tap the 15-inch,
Yes,
we have to put one there.
correct.
That's no matter what.
Pardon?
That's no matter what,
Yeah, no matter,
if we maintain the street or not.
correct. Without an upstream manhole, we don't have a way of telling if the line's backed up.
Gotcha.
your depth of your property isn't over 400 feet, so that doesn't apply. Stormwater needs to be maintained on site. This includes snow removal.
So how does the storm drain? Am I gonna have a pond or something? Is that what you're saying?
Infiltrator,
Okay,
storm infiltrator can handle it.
and how is that gonna be
You,
developed?
you slope your roadway away from the property edge and away from the
Right.
the houses, and you put a catch basin at the end of the slope, goes into the ground, goes into like a septic drain field.
So how big is,
It's gotta be sized for a 100-year storm, and your engineer can do that.
okay, so it goes into that on the upside of the property and then it disperses in the infiltrators on its way out? Is that my understanding? Are they regular sized infiltrators or are they bigger than what you use for
It's-
sewer?
It depends on what the engineer calculates out as the 100-year storm.
Okay.
It takes into effect all your hard surface that's in the area, and
Okay,
I'm not an engineer, so I don't know exact mathematics of it, but
we could use that 100-year storm now. Okay,
the sewer availability fee, current fee is $7,000 per equivalent dwelling unit, which is each residence.
well, we can talk to the mayor about that.
That is paid with your building permit, not the development of the property itself.
So we're talking 28,000 just for those 4 houses, just for the permit.
For sewer, yes.
Okay,
That's all I have.
so I'd like to put basements in those. And if we're at 8.5 feet deep out there, I guess this is an engineer question. Unless we did pump ups inside the homes,
Or
we
you,
probably could put a gravity flow from the back, from what I can gather by the elevation of the property.
should be able to, because you're gonna gain some transitioning from the road to the property,
Why would I gain it if it's uphill?
because the curb and gutter are higher than the roadway.
Oh, from what you.
So you're gonna gain a little bit there. I figure your property's pretty flat, not gonna gain much elevation there. 263 feet, you're gonna raise roughly a foot. So at the end of your property, you're gonna still be 7.5 foot.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's correct, I think we'd be okay.
And your elevation of the basement would be the full 8 foot anyway.
Yeah.
It would only be, you'd probably end up be about 6 foot deep, depending on how much foundations.
That sounds right, yeah.
So it's still possible.
Okay. Okay. Are you the most expensive guy at the table? Or we getting to the water department, the fire hydrants?
It kind of depends on what you choose for your option on water.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll find
The
it
city did a complete fee study, and we're actually under what they recommended.
out. With a comparison, Jimmy? Okay, thank you.
Well, we don't have anyone from the street department. We'll have to add the comments later.
I got his notes.
Oh, you have, is there?
Yep, I'll put them. I'll put them in the notes.
You need to read it to us so we know.
You'll be required to install curb gutter and sidewalk in the development. If the road is to be dedicated to the city, it must be built to city standards. Each unit has to have their own garbage can.
That's it.
And that's it.
So if there's an HOA, we don't have to pave it? or curb and gutter? Is that my
No, curb
choice?
and gutter is required.
No matter what?
Well, that'd be part of the stormwater retention.
I thought it
Could be like, there's other methods of managing stormwater, right? Other infiltrators, wells, or
other than curb and gutter? Is there other ways?
not for, I mean, I don't know, it'd be up to your engineer to determine
He,
how much you need.
he mentioned I wouldn't need to if I let the homeowner association take care of it. But you're saying,
All
What's-
new developments in the city have to have curb gutter and sidewalk.
curb gutter and sidewalk. So why would I not dedicate it to the city?
I don't think you have enough room to put a dedicated road in.
We've got 50 feet, what do we need?
Our specifications are
60?
60.
Then we wouldn't have enough square footage.
That's right.
That's why Chris drew it that way. We need to buy 10-foot of property. I wouldn't do that.
Or reduce to 2 or 3 lots.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't aware of that, those comments that she made. His name's Wade.
Scott Murphy.
There's a contact sheet that has everybody's emails and
I
phone
saw
numbers.
that, yeah.
And
Okay.
you'll get a copy of that.
And he's over streets and sanitation.
Watson. Okay. What's his last name?
Murphy,
Murphy. Okay, I missed that. Thank you. Okay,
go on, Chicks.
Okay, so I think you have a few options here with layout. The way that this is drawn currently, it triggers some fire codes. And so when we have a long extension like this off of a main public road, if we exceed 150 feet, it starts to trigger turnaround requirements. And so I don't believe you have the room to put in a 90-foot cul-de-sac. And so there's always an option of kind of turning these and shortening that road so we stay out of that 150-foot mark. And then also for fire hydrants, if we can shorten that, that also shortens the distance where you might, depending on how you lay this out, you might not have to have a hydrant.
might not have
You
to.
might not have to. Again, it depends on the layout and the measurement, but typically they're every 500 feet spacing.
Oh, it's 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that might work.
It might.
You haven't measured off where that, I know where the hydrant is. I've seen it.
Yeah, it's going to be, the closest hydrant to you is 250 feet from what I measured to the entry point. And then you have, I mean, you're about 250 feet to the end.
So as long as we figure out something with turnaround over there, we wouldn't have to lose a lot. Chris was telling me, Rachel, you pull forward and back up. Is that what you're saying?
That's a hammerhead.
Hammerhead, yeah.
There's an option to do a hammerhead or a Y, but it has to be an actual dedicated access. It can't just be someone's driveway.
Make somebody back.
Yeah. Well, they park in their driveway.
And those are heavy trucks.
Yes.
Right. So I'd have to give up some property to do that, to do a hammerhead.
Yes. Yeah, because currently you got the 40 feet here and there's no, just the lots are what's, yeah, I don't see any hammerhead on this design here.
What's Travis, what's the minimum square footage for lots? Is it 60?
It's 7,000 square feet.
Oh, so we're just kind of
For-
close, right?
Well, it's 6,000 square feet for an interior lot, 7,000 square feet for a corner lot. And you have one corner lot on the end where you come off West Center. So that's going to divide that pie up a little bit more. Your current plan is around 7,300 feet.
You're saying it has to be what, for the corner?
For a corner, it's 7,000.
So it's smaller.
7,000 is for the corner and 6,000 is for an interior.
So I go to 6,000 on these other three and 7,000 on that front one, so I can gain it a little bit for this hammerhead on the other end possibly. Okay.
Yeah, if that's the way you want to go with the hammerhead. But again, if you don't exceed 150, you don't have to have a turnaround at all
150 feet from,
from the public way up top on center. So from the edge of that road, 150 feet back, if you are at 150, and I mean, if you can give me like 156, 150, 8, you know what I mean? If you can make it close like that, then
well, it's further than that, it's, the lot is 220 feet deep,
yeah,
so we're
On
already
these-
exceeded it, right?
the way it's currently drawn. But if you turn, I've seen developers, they can take lots and turn them and actually put 2 at the end. So that your access road actually only comes down, it doesn't come down all the way to the very end.
Oh, so the road turns and then splits?
Well, you-
Well, it doesn't even split, it turns into driveways at that point.
Okay,
And we can, if you want, I can
okay.
meet with you.
Another time.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, very good, thank you.
Mhm.
Chase. Hey, the next money.
Oh, I'm not too bad.
That's why I asked that question earlier.
So some of it comes down to, I mean, we have similar requirements as wastewater. Yeah, if it's a if it's a water main and hydrant that the city's gonna maintain, it has to be in a public right of way. So dedicated road, which would have to meet all those setbacks and right of way widths. If you can figure out a way with Chase to not need a fire hydrant back there, you could just tap all the meters into a green space on that first lot and then kind of run down your easement to each lot. And then you just got to put meter pits and services in. That's the way I would recommend going because, like I say, once you get in there, you're going to put a meter in with an 8-inch meter on an 8-inch main, private fire hydrant. That'll all be maintained.
So you can come off of that,
Yeah,
if
I
I
mean,
have to put the hydrant back there.
yeah, it all becomes private. But if you can, like I said, there's different ways to orient your lots and make this. You can probably squeeze it all in. But I would still recommend if you don't have to have a hydrant, to just put the services in up near they can't be in that where they're going to be driven on because they're not traffic rated. Just set the 3 other meters because the other house has one. Just put 3 meters right there and just run down the road for the homeowners. Then you don't have to do any other water infrastructure.
So what size of line do I have to put back if we do the ladder?
If you do
When we tap into the main out in the street,
8-inch,
it's gotta be an 8-inch line?
hydrants can't be connected to anything less than
If
8
it's not
inch.
hydrants, yeah, I'm sorry.
So yeah, if you're just doing service lines, 1 inch, 1.5 inch. So 1-inch service connection fee is, they just went up, but it's like 24.18 for a 1-inch. And 1.5 inch is a little over, it's probably close to $8,000.
So when I,
Memorized.
I don't either.
But
So
I
what-
can find-
But you should be fine with 1 inch if you're, I mean, with poly pipes and that, the friction, that pressure loss is negligible through there, so.
so help me understand, when I tap into the main,
Mhm.
if we don't do hydrants, what do I bring across the street and into the
Oh, you
lot?
just bring service lines, so 1 inch
Each of
service.
them, I have to tap it 4 times?
Yep.
How far apart can you tap it? Can you tap it?
18 inches.
And then can you put them all in one trench, or did you already answer that question?
So when they come, yeah, you can do just one road cut with them in, as long as it's wide enough to get them in. As long as you don't encounter a bell or anything, because they still have to be 18 inches from any joints. Because the problem is they'll split if you get any closer than that on a cast iron beam that's there.
You don't have to do 3 down the road because one of them can come off a center.
Well, yeah, the house already has one. That's, the existing
Right.
house has a meter.
That's right.
So you just have to put 3 more in
Right.
and just set them right next to each other and then just run those 3 lines down to
Right.
each. They can be in the same trench as they.
That's the same with sewer, so you're only gonna have 3 services
Mhm.
that you're gonna have to pay for, because one is already existing.
Glad you brought that up, thank you.
What's the separation?
18 inches,
No, between
10 feet.
10 feet.
Okay,
So that would be the easiest and cheapest, because then you're only just doing 1-inch service lines. If you think you need a little more water, the back one, you could do 1.5 inches.
to get you back for your volume and pressure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we've got stuff that runs further than that, so.
That's good.
But
Okay.
that's the route I would go, and then the materials and that, on our standards, each one in service just to the city part is usually about $5,000 with the availability fee and the materials. So between
So-
5 and 6.
You do all the tapping nowadays.
So we can come tap it if you would like us to. You can hire like Ferguson Waterworks to do it too.
Okay,
We just have to be on site when they do it,
all right.
but we can come do it, but you do all the excavation
In the
back
street
through.
as well.
Yep.
And that goes for the sewer as well?
And
What
then,
about backfill?
so
in the
you would,
Street,
it'll be what Scott would require. So if you don't want to do like a flowable fill, then you just have to have compaction testing done on the trench.
Okay.
And then for the material, I can't guarantee that I will have it in stock. So it's better for you to get our standards and buy it and have it inside. We can install it. But I can't supply my needs and contractor needs anymore. The whole COVID thing messed everything up. I finally got fire hydrants that have been on order for 6 months. I'm still waiting for some meter lids, and they've been on order for 15 months now.
wow, that COVID was over.
Some things have never recovered.
Really?
So,
Wow. Okay. All right, very good.
On the sewer, you can run individual services down to the road. However, because of the slope that's required on a service line, you will not be able to put basements in the M2.
Okay, so you're saying I can do the same thing that the water department is saying without putting a
If-
manhole?
If you don't want to dedicate a road, you can put services, you don't have to put a manhole.
On
You don't have
either
to put
end?
an 8-inch line, it can just be the 4-inch. But with the slopes of the 4-inch, you'll either be pumping out of the basement on the N2, or you will be not building a basement.
So we could still put a basement but pump up to the line, right? As long as our slope's good, because the slope needs to be faster is what you're saying, right? Or more, the water needs to run quicker in a smaller pipe than a big pipe, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, a bigger pipe can be laid at a shallower slope.
Okay. So as far as expense wise, that sounds,
You'd have to talk to your engineers and have them do both designs and see which one comes out the best.
but for
But it-
tapping costs,
That is an option.
we'd have to tap 3 times versus put 2 manholes in. Cost wise, that sounds cheaper to me, but is it?
It can be, but you still have to maintain your 10 feet,
Between the sewers?
sewer and water.
well,
We can do the water, but not, do we have to maintain?
not each individual sewer line.
No, yeah, that's my question.
Do they have to keep 10 feet from each individual sewer line from each other, or can,
Yeah.
like for water, they could lay all 3 lines down one trench.
And you can lay all 3 lines of the sewer down one trench.
Okay,
But
The trenches have to be 10 feet apart.
separation.
from the water, always, yeah. But we can put the sewer in the same trench as long as it, okay,
Yeah.
same as the water, but just the maintaining of the 10
Just
feet.
gotta keep them about a foot apart so that you have room to work on them.
Sure. Okay, gotcha.
I don't have anything.
Okay.
We need more parks, we, come on,
I'm not in parks.
never mind.
I'm gonna talk to us about golfing.
So for planning and zoning, if you have that 50-foot easement in there, then that is considered the right of way in there. And so your front setback for each home is 30 feet from that right of way. Even though your lot meets the specifications, your setback doesn't start for the front until the lot runs off that right of way.
You gotta be 30 feet back from that easement.
Yeah, and that,
The
and
lot line.
from the, well, it says from the right of way, not the lot line, for the front setback.
How much right away? do you-
Well, if you do the 50 that he's showing there, and you do the 30 setback there, and then the 20 from the lot line in the rear, that only gives you a home about the size of about 1150 square feet. And then the side 5-foot setbacks.
So from the back is 20?
Yeah,
So we're only talking
Say if he was able to
30, 50, 80, 100. These are 100.
house, driveway, right?
That's only giving me
It's down.
23 feet.
Help.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How can I build a house?
well, you
Unless you
can,
go sideways.
you go sideways, you can, I don't know, like Chase recommendation, let's put two houses lengthwise or sideways at the bottom, so you can have that hammerhead in there. But,
That's the only option, other than what you're just saying.
yeah, well, to get that setback in there from a right of way or an easement in there, because you're gonna have a street or basically a private drive or a dedicated right of way, depending on which way you go there. Without doing like planned unit development to get reduced setbacks, you still have to maintain, if you got reduced setbacks and reduced lot sizes through a planned unit development, you'd still have to maintain the frontage, the street of 60 feet.
And that setback includes porches and overhangs.
At the nearest point.
Okay, I didn't know this.
That's in our scheduled uses
I'm
of
sure it is.
city code. It's in our detailed zone regulations for MDR one as well. And it does say for the front setback from the right of way, not from the lot line. It does say the lot line for a side setback or a rear setback. So,
This is like not working as good as I thought. But that's why it's needed.
mhm.
What about if I want to put storage units in there? What's the whole big change?
According to our schedule of uses, we don't allow commercial storage units within residential
Period.
zone, period. So if you put storage units in there, it would be for the residents only of
Right.
each one.
What about, Chris did mention that I could put, like on Airport Road, where they have those units all together, all connected.
Calvert Townhomes or
I think
Airport
that's the one
Homes.
over there close to
Yeah.
Rose Road.
Yeah.
Does anything change if I were to do that here?
I know them storage units are
Not storage, but I mean just the residents.
just the residents.
Yes.
For any, so your single dwelling and your two-family dwellings are permitted in MDR one, but anything between 3 and up to 4 requires a conditional use permit, which would be, that could be just the same as applying for a planned unit development. That's considered the conditional use permit as well, or you'd have to do an individual conditional use permit if you didn't.
What if we built 2 duplexes?
Or if you built 2 duplexes.
And if you go to like apartment, which is 4 units, if they're not townhomes, then you have to do sprinkler systems. So that's another threshold you want to be aware of.
For the fire inside.
So,
So yeah, if you want to do townhomes, that's a conditional use permit. It specifically says up to 4 units and townhomes in the schedule of uses.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that you're gonna demolish the original building that's on the corner.
Right.
And you wanted to face it towards Center Street,
Like to. But
so.
This is all different change.
Yeah.
Is it, if I wanted to do that, is that possible without losing the lot?
Well, you have different setbacks for a corner lot, depending on which way you point the house, which is considered an intersecting street. You still have to maintain on a corner lot, front 30-foot setback. You have the rear setback of 5 foot, but your side, that is the street side intersecting, will be 20 foot. And then the inside setback, opposite of the street intersecting, will be 5 foot.
So I can turn that lot.
You can turn the house,
Well, yeah,
because wherever the front door faces is the address,
right.
and then that will determine what is the intersecting street or not.
Okay, so if I turn the house, the setback is less or more than what we have?
It'll be the same, so if you point it towards center,
Okay,
then your intersecting street will be your easement going down the west side.
okay,
So that would be a 20-foot setback from that right of way
instead of 30.
instead of 30, but you still have to make 30 from center as well.
Okay. But still, I can still have those other 3 lots.
But if you do 30 from center and 20 from your new street or your new private lane or driveway,
Uh-huh.
I got it around a little over 1,300 square feet area to put something in there and meet all the setbacks. And that would include your eaves and your nearest points.
So it's doable.
It's, if you face, I didn't run it the other way, so I'd have to run it the other way to see if it's doable the other way.
You want me to put that up?
Yeah, go ahead and put that up.
I mean, I ultimately think it's doable. It's just a game of Tetris.
Yeah. If you, this is a tool that I use, it's called Near Map. I draw out your lots, your easement, and you can see on the corner that black triangle is about the minimum allowed square footage of a home by the time you meet all the setbacks. And that's with your 50-foot easement. If you wanted to do a private driveway and still maintain the 10-foot separation between your sewer and water lines, you can shade that down a little bit. But if you wanted it to be dedicated right away to the city, it'd definitely have to be 60 foot. But you can see them little block homes in there, like I said, would be 1,150 square feet by the time you meet all the setbacks. And then off to the right, there's a black block that's about your average size of a manufactured home. If it was 30 by 70, that's 2,100 square feet.
So Travis?
Yeah.
What if he took those last 2 lots, turned them lengthwise? He wouldn't need maybe 30-foot easement for private access to the back 2 homes. Wouldn't need a hammerhead because it's private.
Mhm.
And then put his duplex on the front 2 and his duplex on the back 2.
Yeah, that'd get you closer. I'd have to see how it's drawn out.
Kind of like over on Gary Street? You say duplex?
Kind of. They have a cul-de-sac at the end of
Yeah,
that.
they do, that's right.
Well, that way you're staying under the 120 feet, so you still have a drive. Since you're not
Yeah.
putting mains in, it's just service, so you can shrink that 50 foot down to 30.
Yeah, that red line that's on the left side of it is a 150-foot line drawn to scale. That's where your 150 foot is.
Okay, so I have a question. If this was you guys' property, what would you do? What makes sense cost-wise, what makes sense? Because there's a need for homes, there's a need for, pardon me?
How many acres is it?
0.75, 3/4.
Just a thought, Craig, have you thought about twin homes?
I'm game for anything, Grant.
Because
I don't know, I mean, you got a pretty narrow area there, and kind of what Rex was mentioning with if you could resituate it so you don't have to go so deep into the property, so you don't have all that infrastructure demand, then you can shrink your right of way that you need for your easements for your water and sewer down from 50 to 30. You could still get the density potential that you're looking at, because if you do 2 twin homes on there, you're essentially doing 4 individual homes, but you kind of compact and compress everything down to fit in a smaller footprint. And you still get the density, you could still probably maximize your property that way, instead of trying to do 4 single-family individual residents in a traditional style. It just seems like with that small of a footprint, going to a multi-family setup like a duplex twin home thing, you maximize the property to the most to keep your costs pretty limited. And there's a high enough, demand for housing, and a good, nice looking twin home or duplex is very appealing to a lot of folks.
Okay.
So that would just be a thought. If you're not dead set
I'm
on
not.
a single family home, I would maybe think about,
Probably go that way, huh?
yeah, maybe a multi-family residence situation.
Okay.
And then then if you did it private too, you could make it as a homeowners association, and it could be a very attractive development. The ones over on Airport Road are very attractive and look very nice and good. And you'd be less density with just, essentially 4 units, two duplexes, but I don't know, just a thought.
Well, I appreciate that.
And if you wanted to have individual ownership of each half of them duplexes, we'd have to have the planned unit development.
Has to go PD.
Yeah, so you have that easement of the setbacks, so you could put that property line down the middle of the building and sell each individually. That would maybe create some more connections, but if you do a PUD with a private lane and you put the meter out on that close to the curb, and then have the HOA cover that bill, then you have a HOA covenants, rules, and regulations that you'd have to draft. But the setbacks would be eased. Your lot sizes would be reduced, and you'd still have to maintain the 60-foot street frontage, but it would be for each duplex, not just each unit.
Gotcha.
So if you turn the last one on the end sideways and then just do 2 duplexes further up and put a hammerhead in there, you might want to look at it that way and draw it that way.
Can a duplex be 2 stories?
Yes.
Give me more square footage.
That's what the ones on Caliber are, they're 2-story.
Yeah. Does that change anything?
No, as far as zoning, but it might
So
change
maybe
things
it's
as far as
triplexes. But on, I guess,
Well,
or these triplexes.
if the duplexes are just on side by side like a townhouse, then they don't need sprinklers.
No, single family, 2 family,
Hmm.
townhomes, they do not require sprinkler systems.
It sounds like it might be a way to do it, right?
Yeah, a multifamily with your footprint probably gives you the best bang for your buck.
Y'all agree?
It's just a game of Tetris.
She said earlier.
I think that'll get you closer to what you want to do, but until it's drawn out, math numbers are done.
But you're doing a PUD, and then the city would maintain it all.
You can have dedicated, as long as the street would be built to city spec.
Yeah, 30 feet, we wouldn't maintain the road. That doesn't mean you can't pave it and your HOA would just plow it. You just have a landscape company plow the road out or whatever, or yourself, or however you wanted to work it. But
Okay.
it's the right of ways, we just need the room for our equipment to get in. So 30 feet's about as narrow as you want to get.
And then we'd
For
have
fire.
to have comment from street department on where to place the garbage receptacles or how the garbage truck would turn around.
I imagine they would just be rollaways. You need to roll them out to center.
Yeah.
That'd be fun for the one down there on the end.
They make little trailer hitches for them. Put them on their cars, drag them down.
I don't know, I lived in a duplex out in Groveland and I had to wheel it out and then threw the gravel and out to the road. Not a big deal.
When you sell it, you go, do you have to do this? Well, we decided not to buy.
That's how you get your steps.
That's how you get 200 feet in every day,
Yeah. Get your steps in those.
400 round trip.
Double the steps because of the weight cold, right? Well, I guess we kind of covered everything except for the street.
You got any more comments, Mayor?
My thought, Craig, would be go back and meet with HLE, I guess that's
Chris?
who you're in charge, yeah. And just say, hey, what could we do with reconfiguring this, and maybe talk about a duplex, twin home setup, and then just reconfigure to maximize all that stuff. And then, have them lay that out and you guys decide what works best for you.
Okay.
And then once you get that, then submit the stuff back over and we'll take another look and see,
Is there a charge for the second shot at this if I redesign?
We'll just take it into consideration.
Yeah, I think
I
it is because you've got a tight window and trying to figure out and help you out. I think if you had a more confined, drawn plan set from HLE that helped kind of lay things out a little better.
Give you guys
Give us
a
another
better idea.
better, clearer picture of how
Gotcha.
you want to set it. We take another look at it and just meet with you again and
Okay.
try to make sure we get all your questions answered. Maybe it springs up some new questions that we hadn't thought about or didn't see, but I think that's probably the best path forward to keep you going on your project, because I think it's a good project. It's Princeton's Tetris comment. It's just what can we get to fit there that meets all those criteria? And I think if you're working with HLE, they'll be able to do that. And Chris knows where all the standards are on the website. He can pull all those things in as he designs it out. They've done a lot here, so they know.
Okay.
They know all that stuff. So that would be my suggestion, is just kind of throw that idea back at him and see how you could redesign it out.
I'll do that. Thanks for stepping up. All of you.
Here's a printout of that map that's up on the screen right now.
Better than the one I've got. Thank you.
Well, that kind of gives you an idea of how it looks as far as planning and zoning regulations. Versus, meeting the first two requirements and then looking deeper.
Okay.
Stuff.
Thank you for that.
So Craig, Misty will send out all the notes. She's been taking notes and all the comments that have been said. So she'll send those out to you. So you'll have it, and then you'll have everybody's contact information. So as you're going back and meeting with HLE and your question comes up, you'll know who exactly to call and ask to get more clarification.
It'll all be uploaded into the site plan request and open up.
You'll just email it, or do I gotta go into the
It'll
website?
upload.
Okay,
You'll get a notification though that it's uploaded.
okay, all right, very good.
Hey Craig, just quickly, does this property have water rights, surface water rights at all?
They do, so that.
So you want to incorporate that for like the irrigation use and stuff too?
I should have brought that up. I'm glad you did, because it hasn't been used for decades. It goes down the middle of that property.
So yeah, you'd want to look and see what you can get for water rights and then just do a pressure irrigation or a flood irrigation or some sort, and not rely on the culinary for irrigation uses.
So isn't that through the ditch company, or they have to make that decision?
It'd be through a ditch company, so I don't know which one it is.
I know who it is.
I'd talk to them, see what the possibilities are, because
Do you still have ditch rights? Are you paying the ditch right?
I haven't obtained it because I didn't want to use it because it's at the end. So it shouldn't matter, right? But I still have to
No,
do.
it does matter.
you'd have to talk to them, see if they have shares available.
Yeah, I sit on a ditch board, and
Do you?
if you stopped using your water rights or you didn't pay them, they're forfeited back to the ditch company.
Right,
Depending on the ditch company's bylaws, the bylaws may allow you to purchase them back because it did have water on it before. Our ditch company doesn't allow new property be water be used on new property that's never had water rights. I don't know what that ditch company will say. But yeah, you'd have to reestablish them
If I wanted to.
if you wanted to. Yeah, it's something you have to look at.
Okay. All right. Good point. Thank you.
Something to look at.
Okay, you only meet once a month, right?
Well, for now, if we had more applicants in the future, we might go back to our every 2-week schedule.
You have that.
But right now, we
Right
have
now.
very applicants.
But kind of as you build things out and you get plans, submit them in and we can look at it. And if we need to schedule something,
Oh.
we'll accommodate. Like,
Yeah, that doesn't mean we won't look at them.
yeah, it doesn't mean
If
it's
you
a hard
can.
fast, like we won't
Right.
look at it for a whole month. No, submit everything
Okay.
and we'll look at it. And if we need to get you in, we'll bring you in.
Okay.
We'll go through stuff. So
Awesome.
we're here to help as much as we can and keep everything and projects moving forward. So
Awesome.
we don't.
Great
sometimes-
attitude.
Sometimes it sounds like it's an obstacle, but we're here to help you overcome the obstacles and figure out how we make it all fit within what the laws say. So that's what we're here for.
Okay.
It's just some properties can be more challenging than others just because of the way they're situated. So
Well, the city needs the tax.
that's
So
true.
I'm a-
Every city needs the tax.
They do, they do.
But you know, we understand you've got to make it fit, got to make it work, and it's got to be cost effective.
Yeah.
So we're trying to give you different ideas that may work out better.
That's what you've done today, and I appreciate that a lot. Okay, anything else I need to do?
I think that's about it.
Thanks for your time, all of you. I have to go back to work, right?
Oh, we got another meeting after this.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Sounds like church. That's a meeting.
Thanks for coming in.
All right, thanks, y'all.
So is that up for the Rex?
Hey, Matt.